Welcome back to another episode of CLIC, Capital Lighting's interactive content webcast. Today we are thrilled to be joined by Melissa Guerra from NXG Studios in Jupiter, Florida. She is going to be talking about repurposing what some would call junk into treasure. One man's trash is another man's treasure, and she has done some remarkable things about recycling, repurposing, and just rejuvenating some old stuff to make it new and make it your own. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Vanilla Ice, and I'm here to talk to you about Lights, Baby. That's right, I found the perfect place to go for all your lighting needs. It's Capital Lighting. They've been around since 1924, and they have the experience, knowledge, and selection to help you find the perfect light for your home. You're going to find the better brands, best prices, guaranteed. So go see my friends at Capital Lighting, and don't forget to check out my show, The Vanilla Ice Project, on DIY Network or HGTV.
Thank you, Melissa, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's great having you here, and your last name is Guerra?
Correct.
Guerra. Better than the maiden name? Or?
The maiden name was Zober, which is a little hard for most people to pronounce.
So it was an upgrade?
It was an upgrade. I don't. My husband would think so.
Well, that's good. So I think so, too.
There we go.
Thank you so much for your joining us here on CLIC today, and your recent blog post was tremendous. I really enjoyed reading it and seeing the images.
Thank you.
Your company is NXG Studios.
Correct.
What does NXG stand for?
It's actually my husband's initials, which are Noe Xavier Guerra, and he's an architect. I'm an interior designer, and when we got married, we merged not only marriage and life, but our businesses together and became NXG Studio.
And you're still going strong, so
we are still going strong. It can work. It can work.
And how long have you been in South Florida? I'm assuming you weren't born here.
No, I was not, because very few people actually.
I've met one.
Yeah, maybe two. I was born in Atlanta and moved here about 10 years ago.
Okay, Atlanta's a great city. Lived there myself for a while.
It is a great city.
And you were born and raised in Atlanta. When did you decide you wanted to go into interior design? When did you know? I've
always known I was into interior design. When I was a little girl, instead of playing with dolls in my dollhouse, I would redecorate the dollhouse.
That's telling.
It was telling.
So when they would say, do you want another Barbie? No, but I'd love that canopy bed.
Exactly.
Right.
The Barbie dream bed really works for me.
Okay, that's great. And so you had a passion.
Yes.
And you started interior design. And when did you worked for somebody else, or did you start your own company?
Yes, no, I've worked for other design firms before launching out on my own, but being on your own is just very fulfilling and definitely the way to go if you can do it.
Okay, and how long have you had your own company?
I've had my own company for about 6 years now.
Okay, and it's in Jupiter, Florida.
Correct.
Terrific. And we're down in Boca today, but I know you've been in our showroom here in Boca and also our one in Palm Beach Gardens.
Absolutely.
And I first heard that you were talking about using recycled materials, and that's one of your specialties.
What we like to do a lot is to repurpose items to see what something is and see how you can reuse it. We've used old doors and turned them into headboards. We've used boat decks and turned them into tables. We've done all kinds of things to take something that you wouldn't necessarily think of and use it in an interior in a different way.
And it's just really so creative how you're able to do that. And I was a little nervous. I'm like, if she's just using recycled materials, because I've seen lamps made out of shoes and some crazy stuff.
Well, there's a fine line between it looking like a rummage sale and it being repurposed. You have to make sure that it fits the flow of the space.
But what I liked what you did, you mix.
Yes.
It's not. It could be the signature piece is going to be the headboard that you found in a wherever you search, but then you're going to have some contemporary lighting, some real modern pieces in there that are functional and UL approved.
Exactly. Well, it's how you give a room depth and give it character to suit the owner. You pick the pieces that are new and important to them as well, and then you pick the pieces with some history and character that makes it uniquely their own space.
And where do you find your recycled materials that you use?
Anywhere and everywhere, from salvage yards to boat yards to thrift stores to, shouldn't admit this on camera, but found chairs on the side of a road
that somebody else didn't
want,
but
with some new lacquer and some new upholstery, turned out just fine.
And is it all you? Do your clients get involved in the hunting and the repurposing?
It depends on the client. I have one client who really enjoys the process and has really been involved in going to the different salvage yards to see what we can find.
So no dumpster diving, but almost.
No.
If you go to salvage yards.
Correct.
And there's people out there looking for.
They do the dumpster diving for you,
Uh-huh.
and then you go through and see what they have. And it's not what things are, but what they could be.
And what would you say is the most interesting thing? I love what'd you make a headboard out of?
It was actually an old Indonesian door that we had painted and recolored. It was just kind of it had washed out, and we just painted it gray with a little bit of a red accent, and then built a headboard around it and the bed frame around it. So it actually looks really contemporary and modern, even though the piece was quite old.
So it's just, you'll never know where it started from.
Exactly.
Well,
and that's what I like too, when people walk into a room and they can't necessarily identify exactly where everything came from. It gives the room a little bit of history.
And so you find a lot of the stuff. Do you use some stuff that they'd have in an attic or in a basement? Like that would be your first place to go, right?
Absolutely.
It has meaning to them.
Absolutely. If grandma had some great old chairs, or even an old console that maybe it's not the colorings that you'd like, you can certainly take an old console and paint it and update it color and make it for your house, but you still have the sense of history with it.
I mean, what I love about it is it takes the history of the family. It probably saves money because you're utilizing something that has very little value to anybody else.
Correct.
And it makes it unique because nobody else is going to have a headboard made of an old Indonesian door.
Correct.
Well, that's very cool. I know we're going to be working with you at the Red Cross Show House.
Thank you, yes.
So that's going to be coming up in
That's
the
going to be
spring?
in February, end of February to the end of March with the American Red Cross of Palm Beach County.
Very
and
exciting.
they sponsor that every year. They do a house, and each designer takes over a space, and we will be doing the master bedroom.
That's a great room.
It is a great room. We're excited.
That's terrific. That's probably one of the premier spots to have. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking some time out and talking with us today on CLIC.
Thank you so much.
And we look forward to seeing what you do at the Red Cross Show House and coming back and maybe another blog post in our future about that.
Would love to.
Fantastic. Melissa Guerra, NXG Studios.
Pleasure.
in
Thank
Jupiter.
you.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.